Hi, my name is SlamyJamy, and in this video today we're going to be taking a look at the Battlefield 2042 Open Beta. Beta went live this morning at 8 AM UK time, and it's available to anyone that's either pre-ordered the game or is an EA Play member. With that though, if you're a member of the Xbox Game Pass, for PC especially, you should have access to this as well because you get EA membership as part of that. So in the Open Beta, currently only the map Orbital is available and only the game mode Conquest is available. If for any reason you're still unable to find the Open Beta, I've got a video here explaining how to find it dead quickly for you. I'm playing the game through Origin on PC, so my map size is 64v64, so 128 players in total. But I believe if you're playing it on the Xbox One or the PS5, the map size there is only 64 players. That's the first thing you'll notice. Playing the beta or playing this map, Orbital especially, the map itself does feel huge if you're playing it with 128 players. One good thing they have is that the AI is currently active, so if the server itself isn't full, it'll fill the server with bots essentially. Now the bots themselves, they're really easy to kill, and it's really easy to spot if you're fighting a bot because they're really simplistic right now. They don't move much, they don't shoot much, they just kind of wander around and kind of aimlessly fire at you. They're extremely easy to kill. I do hope they make them a bit more difficult or just a bit more, I don't know, structured, because right now they're just like target practice. But it's fine. At least the map always feels full. It always feels like something's happened at least. But you do get periods where if you've not got a vehicle to hand and you're by yourself, you're just kind of running around the map on foot for a few minutes. But there's nothing wrong with that. You come to expect that from Battlefield titles. The maps are huge. So for now, in the Open Beta, the main menu, you've got All Out Warfare, Battlefield Hazard Zone, and Battlefield Portal. Now the Portal and Hazard Zone aren't available in the beta, but they're kind of just teasing that those modes will be available in the future. So under All Out Warfare, again, you just have the Conquest mode, which again is on the map Orbital. So far, getting into the game has been absolutely fine. I've had a few instances where I've joined games and it's been pretty much full of bots, but that's because I have been playing since very early this morning. I'm hoping as the day goes on, especially as we get into the weekend, the games will be full of people rather than bots. So once you're in the game, it's your standard Battlefield variant. You have a spawn, they have a spawn. So in terms of specialists, we have the Assault Specialist, the Engineer, Recon, and Support, which essentially, as you know, if you've played any Battlefield game, is just Assault, well, Engineer, Sniper, and Medic. The really cool thing though about this is you're not limited to a weapon type by a class. So for instance, if you want to be the Recon guy but use SMG, and change whatever you want, you're absolutely able to do that. And you can also change some loadouts. So these are where you can kind of preset for kind of custom loadouts for any class you want. Now the way the different specialists work is each one has a different speciality. So with Assault, they've got a grappling hook and they're nimble. So the grappling hook just lets you kind of zoom up to buildings, which is really good for not using ladders. It lets you get into really kind of tight spaces where you can rain down on the people below you. And then the nimble just makes you move a bit faster and also lets you to shoot a bit more accurately when using zip lines. Boris, the Engineer, has a sentry gun that he can place down at will. And the sentry gun as well also spots nearby targets. So this has been really useful for me. If you're attacking a base, you throw the sentry gun down, it helps protect you, but it'll also ping enemies that are near you. The Casper, or the Recon guy, the Sniper guy, has a drone that you can operate, and he also has a movement sensor, kind of a bit similar to the Engineer. Again, it just alerts you if people are nearby. And finally, Falk, or the Support, or the Medic, has a threat pistol that heals at range, so you don't have to be near your teammates or squad mates to help heal them. And she also has the ability, which is Combat Surgeon,
Got to start securing sectors. Enemy has majority control.
which lets her resurrect anyone to full health. Now in the game as well, anyone can resurrect people. In previous Battlefields, you had to be the medic or support role. In this, anyone can revive someone, but it's only the medic or the support class that will revive you to full health. So basically, they just have a much better revive function than the other classes. Every specialist has access to the same throwables and even the same gadgets. So you can be a medic that wants to have an anti-air missile if you want to be. You can be a sniper with a rocket launcher or a sniper with ammo. So you can really play the game however you want. With that as well, you seem to unlock weapons just through leveling up your account rather than leveling up the classes. So if you want to unlock all the sniper rifles, you don't necessarily have to keep playing as a sniper all the way through the game. You can just play the game however you want, and eventually you will unlock the sniper rifles you want, and then you can switch to gameplay when it fits you. At this stage, I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative, because you might want to specifically unlock sniper rifles or specifically unlock, light machine guns. The way it's currently designed, it might take you a lot longer to do that than it would do on previous titles or on other games. But for me, I found it fine. I quite enjoyed it. Was unlock a random gun, and then you go and try out that random gun for a little bit, and then go back to the other guns you're using. Whilst we're on the subject of guns, all the guns so far feel amazing. Every gun has its own use. Now with this map, because it's so wide open, right now SMGs aren't great, because unless you're literally inside the buildings or in the small tunnels you'll find, it's very rare that you're going to be killing someone with an SMG. Right now, the marksman class, assault are kind of dominating. Snipers, I found that you've got to hit people a few times to get a kill with a sniper rifle, unless you're really accurate and get headshots, but it is so fun getting kills with a sniper rifle. For me, I've been using the LMG a lot as well. It's got a lot of recoil, but it's really easy to pick off people at range, and it's got a massive fire rate. I've seen the majority of people so far seem to be sticking with the assault weapons because they're a really good balance of they've got decent range, decent fire rate, and do really good damage. But yeah, so far all the guns seem really balanced. There's not a single gun I've come across yet where I've been like, this is useless. They've all had a very good use for specific situations. And on top of that, you can customize the guns on the go. So whereas before you would set up your loadouts and layouts beforehand, now you can just pick a gun, jump into the game, and edit it as you go. With the editing, you can change your scope, your rifle barrel, your ammo type, and kind of the underbarrel, which just lets you kind of customize what you want your gun to be doing. So you can swap it from long distance fighting to close quarter fighting quite easily. If you spot like a car's coming towards you, you can quickly change your ammo type to armor penetration and try and spray the car for some extra damage. It just gives you a lot more customization on the go. It's very similar to like if you ever played Crisis, and it's very quick and very easy to do. Right now in the beta, you seem to have access to all of the attachments, or at least a lot of attachments for all the guns. I'm assuming that once the game's actually live and at launch, you'll have to unlock these through various methods, if it's either just playing with that gun or doing certain missions, etc. I hope that's the case anyway, because right now it doesn't feel like you've earned these attachments, you've just been given them all. And me personally, I'd rather like work towards them. So my favorite gun, the more I get kills with it, the more cool stuff I unlock for it. So that's just me. If that is the way it's intended, I can't see it being a huge issue, but I think it would be much better if they're given to you via rewards. Vehicles have been set up in a way that absolutely anyone can play with them. It doesn't matter if it's a car, a tank, an APC, and especially the air vehicles like the types of helicopters you can get and the planes. I've never been a massive, a great pilot, but I found it really easy just to jump into the fighter jets and just start attacking people. I had my Xbox controller plugged in as well as a mouse and keyboard, and it does let you just jump between the two. The second you pick up the Xbox controller, it's responsive. But I actually found that when controlling the planes, a mouse and keyboard was just as responsive, or if not actually easier. It was easier to have little slight movements, whereas the controller was a bit heavy. So don't worry, if you're a person that does have a controller, you'll be absolutely fine with a mouse and keyboard. With that as well, I've already come across some absolutely insane pilots, either on my team or on the enemy team, just absolutely dominating people, which you always seem to get in Battlefield games. The helicopters and planes, they don't seem too overpowered. They're quite easy to take out the sky as well, but in the hands of a good pilot, it's very, very hard to shoot down a plane, or especially the attack choppers, because they're so quick they can almost outrun or hide behind buildings to avoid the rockets. All the vehicles themselves, again, they're very balanced. Nothing seems too overpowered so far. One thing I did notice, and this isn't necessarily with the vehicles, but your rockets as an infantry are very, very light. Like you have to hit someone like twice to 3 times with a ground rocket to kill them. Maybe that can be balanced, because I think shooting someone with a rocket launcher should kill them, but in this game it kind of just damages them slightly. So going past all the weapons and vehicles and glasses, let's just talk about how the game looks. It goes without saying that the game is stunningly beautiful. Now, I don't have the greatest computer in the world. I've got an RTX 270 Super, I've got 16 gig of RAM, and I've got an AMD Ryzen 9. So, it's not a terrible PC, it's okay. I was playing the game on a mixture of high and medium settings, and I was able to get between 60 and 70 frames per second. I did notice though, so if I changed the settings from, let's say, from high to medium, I gained about 10 frames. If I changed it from medium to low, I'd gain another 10 frames per second. So everything on low, I was about 80 frames. Then on ultra, I was still struggling to get 30 to 40 frames. Battlefield games are very renowned for being really optimized at launch. So it'll be interesting to see if they changed it at all. But overall, the game just looks incredible. It's very polished, it's very fluid. I didn't really notice any kind of like staggering or jitterness. The only thing I did notice, but I don't think this is to do with the graphics, when you're inside vehicles on the turret, you get this really weird motion like blur. Well, I don't know if it's because the camera's trying to mimic like the movement and the kind of suspension of the car. I just found it up until now, every time I'm in the cockpit of a land vehicle, it's unplayable because the camera it shakes so much, it's like getting motion sickness. I'm hoping that's just a bug with the beta and that's not for some reason going to be alive. I'm sure it won't be, but that is literally the only kind of graphical thing I noticed that was weird. In conclusion, so far the gunplay, the gameplay, the gun customization, the graphics of the game, the dynamic weather, everything is currently outstanding. It's what you would hope and expect from a new Battlefield release and from DICE and EA. There was tiny things that I noticed, but this is purely because it's the beta, such as the classes, they all look identical, so sometimes it's a bit hard to tell if you're shooting at an enemy or a friend because the little icons above the head don't always show straight away, or sometimes they're a bit hidden. So there's been a few occasions where I've been pumping someone thinking why they're not dead to only figure out that it's a teammate, but that's purely the beta. I'm fairly certain that in the actual live release you'll have plenty of customization in terms of your class's skin, even your weapon skins. The only thing that I could put a finger on and say is a negative on the beta is that we didn't have access to more maps, just because I would have just loved to have seen a few of the maps. But so far I'm getting a really good impression from the beta. If you've watched the video up until now, thank you so much. I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what you like and dislike about the game, so please leave comments below. Also with that, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting more Battlefield content very shortly, along with content from a bunch of other games that are coming out. My name is SlamyJamy. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.